Coming up today on Let Her Shoot, we've got a packed show. The WNBA just made history. For the first time ever, the league generated enough revenue to share it with players. We're going to talk about what that means for the CBA. Plus, Olivia Miles just joined one of the most exclusive clubs in NCAA history. And Iowa pulled off something nobody saw coming.
I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
Welcome to Let Her Shoot, the only podcast that covers women's sports the way that we want them covered. Sarah Chovnik is on the other end of the screen. She's a two-time Emmy Award-winning producer. I am a zero-time Emmy Award-winning nominated or considered anything. I am Trista Crick. If you're loving our stuff on YouTube or liking our stuff on podcast form, subscribe, follow, hit the like button, comment, please. Big fucking weekend in women's sports altogether. We've got stuff in college hoops. We've got stuff in boxing. Clarissa Shields hits the shit out of another woman about a bajillion times. We never talk boxing, Sarah, and then the WNBA has some big news that drops like 5 minutes before we started our show. They finally pay out based on some arbitrary profit number, but they now have to pay out $16 million. So we'll get into that. Where should we go first, Sarah? You direct the show.
So normally we start in the big SEC, where it means more. Where it just means more.
Because we're SEC biased. We're biased. That's what we have.
Yeah. We're going to start, though, in the Big 12 because TCU pulled off a massive comeback against Iowa State last night. And in the middle of it, Olivia Miles set some history, set some records, got herself in the history books.
The bitch was crazy, Sarah. Like, she was ice cold.
I know that you like that. I just, like, it makes me every time.
You don't like the bitch?
The bitch.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, we gotta stay on. The young lady was absolutely out of her mind. 3 quarters of ice cold and then 17 fourth quarter points. They were down 13 points in the fourth quarter, and she exploded, entering a 2,000 point, 800 assist, 700 rebound club, which puts her in insane company.
Yep. Whose company?
Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, and someone you don't know who actually went to Alabama, Anissa Johnson. But now Olivia Miles. You're talking about rebounding guards that can distribute the rock to everybody. That's just an insane number. 2,000 points, 800 assists, 700 rebounds. TCU is now just 1 game shy of the Big 12 title. I just thought it was a resilient win because I felt like Iowa State had them on the ropes. TCU was a 9.5 point favorite. They actually almost hit that number because Olivia Miles put the team on her back.
That game, those two teams are kind of like the ones we've I don't want to say forgotten, but
stopped talking about.
We stopped, we just kind of were like, you know what? They're not going to give us that deep run in the tournament that we think that they're going to give. But I don't know. Maybe TCU can kind of make a. They've got the guard play. They've got good wings, and I think in general we all need to just hold the phone and caution ourselves and just not get to the championship game too quickly. We need to sort of observe and enjoy the teams that we know aren't going to the Final Four. This is a top-heavy college basketball season, but that doesn't mean that what we're seeing from TCU isn't super impressive. That doesn't mean what we're seeing from Audie Crooks isn't impressive. And Marta Suarez, we got to throw a little dirt on Tennessee's name. She had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. She actually was a key staple role player for that comeback. And she said she put in 3 years at Tennessee, Sarah, and was up out of there. She got all the way up out of Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you who I think could be next leaving. JANIAH did not travel with Tennessee yesterday. Did not play with Tennessee, did not travel with the team. Kim Caldwell said that Barker did not meet program expectations. Did not meet program expectations to go to Norman.
I hate to say this, Sarah. The first thing that comes into my soul, this bitch. That's the first thing I
want
think.
to say, like, do you want to, first of all,
This
pot
bitch.
meet kettle? You want to talk about not meeting program expectations?
Yo, you got people, we just said on the show, you've got people not coming to practice or leaving practice early. You have Andrea Carter saying that the team doesn't buy in, that they don't seem to enjoy playing basketball with one another, and Kim Caldwell is not creating the culture that exists there. You've basically become a pushover and a bath mat, and now you want to be the disciplinarian with like 2-3 games left to go? Kim Caldwell, baby, keep it consistent.
She said she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Oh, it's just getting worse and worse for Kim Caldwell. She's got to get up out of there. I don't even think if they made it to an Elite Eight, she would stay. The Andrea Carter quote for her alma mater, that evisceration in such a classy way, almost put the nail into the coffin.
Well, a lot of things are going on, and I agree with Coach Staley. You should never say that your team has a lot of quit. You never want to tell the fans that are watching and spending money to come watch your players that the players that they are watching are quitting on them, right? So that is the first mistake. Kim Caldwell's going to figure out what to say and when to say it in the public eye, but she's got a lot of things to figure out, because I know she said this team has a lot of quit. To me, when I watch them, what they have is no belief. And when you're playing on a team, this is any team, you've got to believe in yourself, you've got to believe in the system, and you've got to believe in the staff. Because when you're struggling with yourself, maybe you can lean on the system and your teammates. And when your team is struggling, you can turn to your staff. It doesn't look like Tennessee, the players, they know who to turn to. Some of them might believe in themselves, but they believe in themselves on an island. It doesn't translate to winning. It doesn't inspire their teammates at all. There's very little belief in this Tennessee locker room when I watch them. You can believe when things are going well, but it's when things are hard. What do you believe in?
So this was Tennessee's 4th straight loss, and doesn't look much better from here on out. I don't know. That whole team is just giving, like, get us out this door immediately. Where they're not saying that exact same thing, though, is in stores for our girl, Azzi Fudd.
It was crying in the club.
We're all crying in the club. We don't want Azzi to leave. Feels like she's been in school forever, but it's probably time for
And
her
also
to...
not.
And also not, because this is her first full season, which is wild. Anyway, even despite that, on her senior night, she becomes the 7th all-time leading 3-point shooter in UConn history.
Yeah, man. I watched the senior night video. I watched every social clip. You had KK Arnold, who you know is really busy, but also Azzi
busiest
Fudd,
girl,
one of the busiest girls in all college basketball. But also Azzi Fudd's one of her close friends. They also did like a little TikTok video before the game where KK said, "Ew, I don't know what that was, but I'm deleting that." And then she didn't delete it. She put it up on TikTok. They're just adorable. And KK not only was crying when they announced all the Azzi Fudd senior stuff pregame, but also at the podium. Azzi had like this whole long speech and just a lot of gratitude, and everything that she had to say kind of made KK go even more into her feelings. And then KK spoke, and KK was like, "Listen, I'm up out of here. I can't I can't really like talk anymore without getting emotional." You also had other, like, you know who really cried a lot was Kaylee Heckle. It's like the bitch just got there.
Yeah, she just got
You just got up in there. And Gino had all this
like,
amazing stuff to say. He said, when the young ones are crying, that's how impactful you know that player was. But all of that to say, I just wanted to quickly give flowers to Azzi because she had so many devastating injuries in college. And for her to have this level of impact emotionally, and also from a true basketball standpoint, to have that career all-time 3-point shooting list accomplishment, despite the fact this is her first full year, where would she be on the list if she played all 5 years?
Can I also just...
Maybe one.
That's a great question, number one. And also, I just have to point out the Azzi Fudd disrespect lately I have felt. I don't know if have you felt this? Have you felt the Azzi Fudd disrespect?
I have not.
So, Azzi Fudd, like you were just mentioning all this, she got bumped down to ESPN's third or fourth overall projection, which we're going to have to get into at another point because I'm sorry. I don't buy that.
Well, that's a lie.
That's just not going to happen.
She's going first overall.
She's going first overall.
She just got asked about it the other day on her podcast by, I want to say it was Brianna Stewart. And she's like, have you thought about the fact that you're probably going to go number 1 overall? And Azzi's like, no, I haven't. It would be nice, I guess, but like, I'm just focusing on winning. She's going to me, I think she's going number 1. I don't see another player who is going to surpass her. I don't see Lauren Betts doing it. I don't see that being what Dallas does. I don't see OLIVIA. I certainly don't see any other guard doing it. So it's going to be what? Awa Fam? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's who they say it is.
No.
They say it's
and
Awa
let's
Fam.
be honest, ESPN's not on Synergy, shout out to Synergy Sports, watching Awa Fam and bumping her up based on how Awa Fam's been playing. I don't think that's happening.
So they're just bumping AZ down for like no reason. That's what I mean by the disrespect on Azzi Fudd's name this year. I don't accept. We don't accept here at Let Her Shoot.
Yeah, man. All I want to say is I love you, Azzi. I think she'll go down as one of the best UConn players of all time, despite all of the injuries. I think just her journey in general is remarkable, continues to fight through all of this and has a smile on her face and has this brand and this appeal, has a podcast while they're undefeated, whose teammates just love her maybe more than they loved even Paige. And that is what women's basketball is at its best. And like, they had a betting pool. The team had a betting pool on who would cry the most.
Okay, I have a question.
For Azzi.
Who, if you were to put a betting pool on Let Her Shoot, like who's losing the crying pool? It's probably
you would cry.
It's probably
who's leaving? Yeah.
No, I mean just like for any reason, just for Azzi Fudd leaving college.
You're the most person that I think would cry, and then Adrian, and then either Sam or Zeke, and then me. I'm not crying for shit. Although I have been crying over the monkey stuff.
Don't get me started on Punch.
We can't talk about it. We will get to you.
We can't talk about it. It literally gets me choked up to talk about Punch. Let's talk about the Punch. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Iowa over Michigan. Iowa had a huge sucker punch to Michigan. Jan Jensen, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, man. I think you lose Taylor McCabe to an ACL.
Brutal.
And they shouldn't win this game. I watched this game. First of all, they forced Michigan into 24 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's a shitload.
That's a lot.
I read 24, and I had to go to the box score to see that 24 was 24. I was like, did they turn them over? 21 points off of turnovers. They put Silas Swords and our girl Olivia in prison.
Yeah.
Silas Swords was 1 for 6 from 3. Olivia Olsen 6 for 16. You're talking about 20 points for the two stars combined.
Yeah.
I just don't think that this team should be beating people this way. What? Tell me that story about what Caitlin Clark told you. It was like she didn't even have faith in this Iowa team to do much after Taylor McCabe went down.
And I want to make sure that I'm not presenting this as like Caitlin was talking shit about Iowa, because she wasn't in any way, shape, or form. But I asked her about it, and I was like, so like what are your vibes? And this was the morning of the UCLA Iowa game. And so she was like, well, they're not going to win. And she was right, because we know that UCLA is just a powerhouse. But she was saying how impressed. She was talking about how Taylor McCabe just gotten her ACL, and
she had gotten it.
She had just torn her ACL, and it was a bummer. And she was like, I don't really know what to expect out of them the rest of the year, but they're outperforming what anyone thought. She was impressed with Chit Chat. She was super impressed with Taylor. She was impressed with Hannah Stolke. And We didn't
Who she
talk
played
about
with?
Ava, who she played with. We didn't talk about Ava Heiden, but we have to talk about Ava Heiden, who had 24 points, 10 rebounds, 4 steals.
And
She
blocks.
just
4 steals and blocks.
4 steals and blocks. Put on an
Stalks.
absolute socks. Is that what they're called?
Stalks.
Stocks. I think it's socks.
You got so much to learn, my sweet, sweet child. Chat,
I want to.
don't hold it against her. She's just getting into hoops. Don't hold it against her. She said it was socks. She thought I could have convinced you that it was socks, and you would have been like, "Yeah, they had 4 socks on Saturday."
And then I would be made fun of by everyone on the internet, and I would be like, "Trista told me they were called socks."
No, Ava Heiden's a beast, man. She's just a breakout player. She can do a little bit of everything. I like her a lot. Hannah Stolke looks really good. Her footwork looks good. Her touch around the rim looks really good. I just think in general, Jan Jensen has found a way for this team to beat players or to beat teams that they have no business competing against. And yes, they were at home. And yes, this is like probably a top 3 crowd in the nation. I think Iowa doesn't get nearly enough respect at how many sellouts they have and how they're just in general like average attendance is and how insane their little white fan base is. I discovered why I don't like the Big Ten, and it's because there's just far too many corn, like just like it's like a corn husker sort of a vibe, right? Yeah. Like it's just a lot of pale, blonde, and brunette white girls out there doing fundamental things.
I mean, when
I was watching sell out and they find a way to win, but that's I think like visually why I don't like the Big Ten.
I mean, yes, look, visually that Iowa-Michigan game is very different than visually
it was disgusting.
LSU South Carolina. Like,
yeah. I thought to myself,
type of basketball. It's just like a different type of basketball.
I thought to myself, you know, when I was watching like some of the highlights back preparing for the show, I was like, oh yeah, like that would have been a good one to go to. And then I was like, no, it wouldn't have been a good one to go to. There was like 45 turnovers and tons of fouls and disgusting putbacks. Absolutely not. Even when you go to like the Iowa page or to the Michigan page, everybody's like, yeah, that game was not a beautiful game to watch. Anyway, Jan Jensen, you deserve your flowers. We're not spending another second on this disgusting game. We even got to talk about Minnesota. I don't know. Should we do it here? Whites. Should we do it here? The exciting whites?
Yeah, let's put all the exciting whites together.
Yeah, okay, so Minnesota, they deserve their flowers. NCAA has them as a top 10 net rating team right now. They're 9th in the country. They played a game, actually, that was super exciting against Michigan State. That's a team that's fun to watch, Michigan State.
Golden Gophers.
And it was at Gophers. Oh, Gopher, eh? Oh, the Gopher. The Gopher, eh? It was just one of those, I think they had won 9 straight before that game. And they could have won the game. They were hanging tough. They were up, I want to say 42-34 with 6 minutes left in the third.
Yeah.
And then Michigan State had a 9-0 scoring run. And it was a freaking wrap. And honestly, though, Minnesota, not going to do anything in the tournament, but they deserve to at least be mentioned on a women's basketball, women's sports podcast. Yeah. The Gophers are looking up. Have we been looking at them enough? The answer is no, Sarah.
No. We just don't have enough eyeballs and enough minutes in the day. And
we don't have enough minutes.
We don't have minutes. Not when
we got a lot of minutes for Vandy, though.
Not when we have games on,
where it just means more.
Like Tony Morgan versus Michaela Blakes. It just means more.
It's a much more electric style of hoops.
I'm sorry. I prefer. Look, we grew up in the 90s, right? That was our...
Yes.
And I remember, what made me excited about watching basketball was,
nothing, because you didn't watch it.
I did. That's a lie. I watched and won. I loved and won. And I think, part of me is still kind of always looking for that fun...
Flash.
I love the flash, which is why I love the SEC.
Truthfully, I don't like Big Ten football either.
also boring.
Yeah. Be more flashy.
Adrian's
an
probably over
entertainment-
there just like, she's a, you know,
I
she's
know.
a Big Tenner. She's
Adrian's like, well, I mean, Oregon's in the Big Ten. I don't consider Oregon or UCLA really Big Ten.
No, it's Pac-12.
We play a more exciting brand of basketball and football than they do. Like Ohio State, gross. Just, I don't care if you win. I want it to look good. Shockingly, Sarah, I would rather a team lose and be a fun brand of hoops than a disgusting team that wins games like Michigan.
I agree. That's why I love watching Michaela Fulwiley turn the ball over 9 to 10 times a game. Anyway, let's talk about Michaela Blakes. Michaela Blakes had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in her senior night over Vanderbilt. Michaela Blakes is one of the most exciting players in college basketball at the moment, and is we don't think getting the attention she deserves.
I think in general, what she's doing has gone under the radar because it's just a level of sustained dominance that you can rely on a night-to-night basis. And you're just like, yawn, boring, another 30-point game for Michaela Blakes. It was kind of like Taniya Latson last year when she played for Florida State. It's like, oh yeah, just another 35-piece for Taniya Latson. It was her 10th game of 30 or more, the most of any player in the SEC, but 8 of those 10 were against winning teams.
I was going to say the difference between her this season and Taniya Latson last season is that Vanderbilt as a whole is good.
Yeah.
Right? Like Florida State wasn't good without Taniya Latson.
Well, neither is Vanderbilt probably without Michaela Blakes. But
well, I don't know. I mean, Aubrey Galvin's good.
Yeah, sure. But Michaela Blakes is the engine. You take 35 points away and they're not winning that many games. I think in general, everything that Coach Shea Ralph is doing is exciting. I think they play a brand of hoops that's like the most fun to watch of any team. And that's probably why I quote unquote overrate them. People are very upset that I put them even in the same conversation, in the same tier as South Carolina. I'm sorry. Like everybody's got, except for UCLA and UConn, everybody's got a bad loss or two. Like, everybody's got bad losses. And so, yeah, like, the Vanderbilt loss to Georgia was a bad loss. And they got curb stomped by South Carolina. But South Carolina also lost to Oklahoma. So, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I don't really know how to make of those two things. But in general, Vanderbilt and Michaela Blakes deserves a ton of attention. And I said this on, I think, Twitter or Threads or something like, I think Michaela Blakes is going to win Player of the Year.
I mean, in all reality, who would you have above her?
I think you would probably put Sarah Strong there, but they just are so stacked. And Sarah Strong does it in a way that's not really like, doesn't cause a lot of noise. Michaela has loud games.
Well, the thing about Sarah Strong, like you said, doesn't cause a lot of noise. And it's hard when you're having 30-point games, but then so are 3 other people on your team, you know? Like
or you're only playing 18 minutes.
Michaela Blakes is doing something that no SEC player has done in 25 years.
Yeah, 35, shot 50% from 3, 50% from the field, 10 for 13 from the free throw line. I also think we are not giving enough love to Aubrey Galvin, the freshman who really deserves probably freshman of the year consideration. 20 points, 9 for 17 from the field, and just continues to be like the reason that Michaela is able to go for 35. And so, yeah, like this is just one of those teams that we can't really talk about Michaela Blakes enough. Also, Aubrey Galvin hit the go-ahead jumper with 8 seconds left to go. So she needs her love and she needs her flowers as well. One of the threes tied the game with 2:20 left. So Aubrey Galvin kind of, like, truthfully sealed the game up for them. Because, like, Kentucky's good, but another loss to another team that we didn't think that they would lose to. Now you're starting to get into the Vanderbilt category. People want to disrespect Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they really do. And I I want to ask you this, but I don't want to put you on the spot right now because I want us to look at it and really dig in on this, and maybe we can talk about it Friday. But who is the 1 seed from the SEC? Because we know, like,
But
and how
South
many are
Carolina.
there?
South Carolina will
yes.
be a 1 seed from the SEC.
But is it Vanderbilt or Texas? Like, if you really look at their wins and losses, it's hard.
To me, it's probably Vanderbilt, but it's tough to give it to Texas when Vanderbilt beat Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, the head-to-head. I mean, I do wonder how much is going to be predicated on the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know. All I will say though is shout out to them. We have to get into this WNBA stuff before we run out of time. But also
before we do that,
I just want to say Medina Okot hitting threes like her name was Steph Curry. Play the clip of Coach Yo, because I thought they ended up beating the hell out of Ole Miss, but Coach Yo's post-game press conference is absolutely fucking hilarious.
You did see Medina Okot last year when she was at Mississippi State. Does anything stick out about the way, obviously, the three-point element to her game, but just how she's grown over the last year in this new system?
Yeah, when I saw her start making threes, I was like, it's over for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to have to battle with her around the basket, but she started looking like Steph Curry. I was like, we might as well pack it up, you know? I just think they did a great job giving her confidence. I always thought she was super talented. I remember her at Mississippi State, like I was scared straight about her. You know, it makes a difference when you're around the level type players she's around. And it's when you're around championship players, like you start to move like that and embody that identity. And I think she's doing that. She always had all of this skill, you know. It's just really being brought out because now she's with some really good players.
Hilarious. She should be on the Daily W. Like, honestly, give Coach Yo her own podcast to talk about women's hoops, because the way she speaks about the game as a coach is like how we would talk about it. She was like, we might as well just pack it up if she's going to be Steph Curry out there.
It is. Well, you know, and I will say, those three, did you see those threes?
Yes.
They were smooth.
She looks good.
She looks really good.
I'm not backing down from my assessment of her, but
I
looks
know
really
you're
good.
not. I know. You never do. But
you know who's not backing down, Sarah?
The PA.
The WNBA is not backing down, and the WNBA PA is not backing down. And I don't think there's going to be a season.
I think we're at the point now where that's a big, big, big possibility, especially after the news that came out today. As we were getting on to record, there was some big breaking news in the WNBA, PA, CBA negotiation world, with news that last year, the WNBA hit a revenue that required them, for the first time ever, to have to pay out the teams $16 million.
You can see it here. For the first time ever, the WNBA generated enough revenue to hit the threshold that triggers revenue sharing under the current CBA.
$16 million
has been sent to the 13 teams, dispersed among players. Only $8 million goes directly to the players that were active. The other $8 million goes to league marketing agreements mandated by the CBA. So half the number being reported doesn't even go into player pockets.
Wow.
But the real thing is, like, we don't even know what that number that they chose arbitrarily looks like. All we know is that they're making enough money to distribute $16 million to the teams. So what I'm saying is, like, it's kind of insane, because we know that the bar that the WNBA set was going to be high enough, because they don't want to pay out the teams. Let's be real. So it was high enough, and we don't know what it was. It was high enough in this current CBA for them to have to pay them out.
To trigger that, right? It was just like it was just an anamorphous number. A number.
Anamorphous? Wait. Do you know that's not a word?
Okay.
Amorphous and anapomorphic are 2 words that you've put together. Yeah, anyway, it's an amorphous number. We don't know what it is.
Yes.
All I know is that they're paying and they don't want to pay. And this was leaked from the WNBA PA to say these motherfuckers are lying about that they're losing money. So much so that we just got $16 million in bread under this bullshit CBA. Imagine if the CBA was not bullshit, what we would be getting.
What do you think that number was?
No fucking clue. Couldn't even begin to tell you. But all we know for sure is they're making money. They're not losing money.
No, and we know that this number was wildly out of reach because that was part of what this whole CBA argument has been this whole time. It's like you're putting these insane numbers on what we must reach to trigger these benefits, and then they did, and then they still do. So basically what we're seeing right now, what we're happening watch in front of our eyes, is the WNBA being caught in the middle of a smoking hot lie.
And we don't know how much they've been lying. Right?
Lot.
And I think
I'm gonna assume.
I think that the main issue, from what I'm gathering, and I had some conversations over the weekend about what the big sticking points are, and it's not just the revenue sharing, but if you guys are going to tell us, if the WNBA is going to tell the WNBA PA that they're going to lose millions and millions of dollars, then let's see it. How much are you guys going to lose?
Right.
Why don't you open your books up to us and show us? If it's so bad and so dire, then you wouldn't have any issue showing us.
Release the files.
And release the files. And sports leagues in general don't want to do that. The Atlanta Braves were forced to do it when they went public, when the company went public, and they had to open their books because public companies are forced to do that. And I think in general, the WNBA has their pants down right now because in the middle of a CBA negotiation, having to pay out that amount of money and only half of the money going to players and the rest just going to teams at a time where expansion fees are through the roof is just another smoking gun that does not help their case at all. Sarah, I'm terrified that there won't be a season because I think the WNBA is willing to cut their nose off to spite their face because they're so terrified of showing these things that they're willing for the league to end to avoid them having to look like they do not give a fuck about women's sports.
Well, and that's what it is. They refuse to pay women. Like this is what we do know. They refuse to pay the women. They're lying about how much money they have. And they're lying about money so that they don't have to pay women. That's the correlation here. And I do not believe, I agree with you. I do not believe that they are going to just all of a sudden go, you know what? You're right. You're right. We do have the money to give you. We are just going to agree to what we're going to say. And May 8th is when we're supposed to start. We are 2 full months from a regular season being scheduled to begin. And that's not, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think you add that to the fact that Breanna Stewart is now playing for Fenerbahce, which was discussed in the dinner that I had. Like, why do you think Breanna Stewart's not going to play? Like, why is she playing overseas suddenly? That is adding, like I said, I don't have any real comment on it because I don't really know what all went into it. She said they offered her so much that she couldn't refuse. But I think the fact that there could be like a WNBA season that gets prolonged, the work stoppage seems imminent. But also, Unrivaled says they're willing to just keep the season rolling.
Yep. So
let's talk about who decided to come back in the middle or the end of the WNBA or of the Unrivaled season. We got our girl Angel Reese back.
Yeah. And she came back in full form.
They've been crying for her. They've been pleading. She basically kind of threw him, not like threw him under the bus, but like kind of spilled the tea, kind of clogged it. And she was like, yo, I was getting calls every day begging for me to come back.
I missed that. That's hilarious.
Every day someone was calling me, being like, Champ, come back.
Come back. You know what? I'm glad she's back.
Did you see her lock Jackie Young the hell
up?
That's
what I mean. That's why I did the whack whack. Because she made Jackie Young look silly.
And that's what got Rose into the playoffs, which I'm going to be going to this weekend. So Rose now goes back to the playoffs with that defensive stand. She blocked her. She chased her. She swatted the ball away. And then she was talking that shit to Jackie Young. I love it.
I love the part that I love is the first block was great. Second block was great. But it's when Jackie turns around, runs to the other side to get away from her. And Angel just follows her and goes, poof. Best part.
And Angel looks like she's been getting her tan on. She said she was just sitting on the beach the whole week before. And she's like, yeah, I'll come back for the playoffs. That's such GOAT energy, too, when you can just come back at the tail end of a season. That's what Brianna Stewart's doing, coming back for the final 6.
100%. She's going back just to win a title. And that's Angel says, you guys do the legwork. I'll be back for the title.
You know who's got the title, though? Undisputed heavyweight champ, Clarissa Shields. Do you know Clarissa Shields, Sarah?
I don't even know who she is.
She's basically the GOAT of women's boxing.
Okay.
If you look her up,
she's a white girl.
No.
With braids? No.
Don't let her name Clarissa get you wrong. If you look up Clarissa Shields right now.
Clarissa Shields does sound.
It does sound like Clarissa Explains It All. No, Clarissa Beats Bitches All the Way Fuck Up. That's the name of the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of the show. Look at her.
Her, have you seen her chain? It says Guote.
Yes, that's what they call her. She's a beast.
She is a beast.
Do you see her?
Yeah.
Could you imagine her hitting you?
No.
Even a little bit? Her
No.
mitt on you? Okay, here's this setup. She's won at every weight class. She sat there at 135, which is where our girl Alicia Baumgardner, the baddie, was at. But you know she's not 135 like normally. She's probably sitting there at 155, 160. She fought last night at 175. Is that right? 175.
Okay.
At 17,000 fans in Detroit at Little Caesars Arena. This defended her heavyweight title. And the fight exploded on the internet. It was just two women, and you know me, I'm anti-violence, but it was just like a lot of times boxing is a lot of ducking, a lot of moving, a lot of jiving around the ring, trying to avoid one. No. These women were just hitting the hell out of each other over and over and over again. It had drama. Huh?
Where'd you watch it?
On DAZN. I saw some highlights on DAZN.
The Zone.
DAZN. She's now 18-0. I also watched like a breakdown. They had clips of like the whole fight on Yahoo. You could see like every big moment. And the fight was a rematch. This is like there's a second time they fought. They're going to fight again. And it was like 190. So it was a super close fight. The weigh-in brawl went viral. They fought before the fight. It was insane. The fact that 17,000 people showed up for a women's boxing match.
Yeah.
They sold that joint. Like, this is where the Detroit Pistons play. They don't sell out every single game 17,000.
Sure.
Whatever you think about violence and boxing, she is the undisputed GOAT. And I'm telling you, if you watch some of these clips, Sarah, you think to yourself, God damn, how did she not fall down? Like, how did this other girl, both of them, they were just getting the hell beaten out of them.
I was too locked in on the Olympics. I didn't see it because I was locked.
Were you locked in on Alyssa Liu, who got fat shamed by the Russians after she won gold?
I have literally not seen a single thing about that.
You got to get on TikTok, baby.
No, that's where the scary people are.
Apparently, a lot of Russians came out.
Take them seriously.
And they were like, oh, she's so fat. Look at her. She won the gold medal. She's just not anorexia, not skinny enough for us.
Yeah, y'all aren't even allowed to be here. So maybe just shh. Alyssa Liu, though, that girl won a gold medal, okay? And in figure skating, which is like, it's like ballerinas on ice, right?
With
like
a grill.
she wins it with a grill, turns to the camera and goes, "That's what I'm fucking talking about." And I
That's
was
a
like,
woman after my own heart.
this girl is everything. She did it with bleach highlights in her hair, with
the skunk do.
with the like, I don't even know what the piercing is called because I'm too old to even know what it's called, but like the one that's on your gums. She
did it herself. Did you know that she did that herself?
I believe it because she is that much of a badass.
She said, I didn't want to pay the money to do that piercing and have it done. She literally just probably put a piece of ice on her gums and just, let me just put something inside of there.
This is the same girl that before she went to the Olympics and they asked her if she was like nervous and she was like, nah, I mean, like I literally can't lose going to the Olympics. And everyone was like, she'll learn. No, she didn't lose. So.
Remember, she left figure skating completely. See, here's the lesson.
They're trying to make her be too skinny.
And to Snow Angel or whatever they call it, Ice Angel. Ice Queen.
Princess.
Ice Princess. Yeah, there it is. Here's the like take home message. The less, prepare as much as you want, as you can. Get ready to go for whatever it is that you do. But when it's time to go, give 0 fucks.
Give 0 fucks. Because she gave no fucks and she's the only one who went out there and skated clean at the end.
The opposite side of that, we don't talk about men's sports a lot, is the quad god from my hood in Portland, Ilya. And he said that, like, yeah.
No, he's not from Portland. He's from DC.
Well, he's repping Portland. He's trying to save our ice skating ring in our rink in our mall.
Well, that's adorable. But he is from DC. He's from Arlington.
Well, we claim him too because he's trying to save the Lloyd Center.
All right.
So he said that it was crippling panic and anxiety and all of the trauma from his life bubbled up. And that's why he had issues. And so just care less, bruh. Just care less.
You should watch the gala. It was so good. He did like a whole thing of, which we're not talking about men, but it was mixed, men and women.
Also, the women's hockey won the gold. We didn't talk about that happened when we were recording.
I rubbed it directly in Sam's face.
Did you? How did she do with that?
She didn't speak to me for like an hour. But
ooh. Anyway, congrats to our women who continue to dominate. I think it's hilarious that all the attention is on the men's who won the gold for the first time since before I was born.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that it had been since 1980 since they had won. But also, can I just tell you that the U.S. came in second in the gold, medal count, and 67% of the medals won by the United States were won by the women.
Damn. Cold piece for the anti-woman sports crew. Cold piece. But they'll keep changing the goalposts. That's what they do.
Yeah, of course they will. They'll just keep getting rid of and there were more men's sports in the Olympics this year than women's.
Did you see that Kash Patel was there with the men's hockey team? And they're like, I guess we'll have to invite the women too. Shut the fuck up.
Also, like, no one wants to go to your White House except for maybe Britta Curl.
And also, Kash, you don't get to be the one to invite or not to invite. Anyway, Lindsey Vonn, did you see that Lindsey Vonn she was so attention hungry that she almost had her leg chopped off.
Yeah, that it was all for
publicity. Attention.
Yeah, I mean, personally, when I want publicity, I also like to throw myself down a mountain, break my leg, and have to require like 8 surgeries to fix it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's all worth it for the headlines.
People will do anything but actually just like treat women's athletes like people.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
My favorite part of the Olympics was watching the Canadian hockey team getting handed stuffed animals. And MVP's like, the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Like, there's nothing more satisfying as an American than watching Canadian hockey players get handed a sad little stuffed animal as their second place.
They should have handed him all the stuffed animal from IKEA that Punch the monkey has.
Stop. We weren't talking about Punch.
How do you, the question is, before we wrap for sure, like, how do you reject another monkey when you get put in with, like, I don't understand that.
I don't understand why
they pushed him away and said, "You stop, go away." Gross.
I know. And then he gets sad, and then they like throw him off of things, and he has to run back to his little fake mom. It's so awful, and I like cry when I watch it.
It may be one of the most devastating parts of the animal kingdom I've ever experienced. And his mom rejected him too. That's
his
terrible.
Mom pushed him away. So anyway, we ride for Dawn. Or we ride at Dawn for Punch.
We ride at Dawn for Punch, but we don't ride for Dawn, who I got some more tea on, but I don't want to share it with anybody else. So, one quick little note. We shouldn't talk about Duke anymore because as soon as we talked about Duke and gave them their flowers, they lost to Clemson. So
it's just the letter shoot curse.
The letter shoot curse. All right, great show, Sarah. We got a lot in. We packed a lot in. Chat. Did you like this flow? Did you like how many topics we covered? Did we cover too many things? Let us know in the comment section. We tried to give love to everyone. We realized we've been leaving the Big Ten out on the cold, just like the monkeys have left Punch out in the cold. So we were trying to do our best. Don't make Sarah cry. As always, Sarah, great show. 1, 2, 3. Let her shoot.